In today's video, we will be talking about the one thing that I need to have with me every day while I'm at work, and if I forget it and it's not too late, I will turn around and go get it, because without them, my day is say miserable. Not quite that dramatic, but that would be earbuds. If you've ever seen me out in the wild, you know that I always have a set of earbuds wrapped around my neck, and while I'm working, I always have one plugged into my ear, and I'm listening to some form of entertainment while I'm doing the dull and mundane work throughout my day. And which leads me to this video. For the past 5 years, maybe even more, I've always used these Sony earbuds. I've personally noticed that Sony seems like these wired style earbuds are no longer something they really want to make it nice anymore. For me, earbuds, I like to keep within the $40 to $60 range, mostly because I've destroyed these accidentally while working. They've come off my neck while I was doing oil changes and fallen into big pans of dirty old oil. I've gotten these stuck in fans and they've ripped off my neck and been torn to pieces. So I don't want to spend entirely too much money for a set of earbuds, Bluetooth earbuds. So that's one thing I look for in them. And the other thing is I like to have the wire style that wrap around your neck. Like I said, I like to have one in the ear while I'm working. That way there I still have one ear open for a little situational awareness. And if someone wants to come over to me and have a conversation, I can hit the button, pull it out of my ear, have a conversation, and I don't have to worry about a individual wireless earbud that I gotta pull out and then, find some place to put and potentially lose. So that being said, with the Sony, for years I bought them. I would get the $60 range style ones with any electronics. They change the models on them all the time. It's basically the same thing. I always like these style right here with the get my face out of there, with the flat ends. They would magnetize together, so when I would have them, I could magnetize them together around my neck, and I was moving around, and they would not slip. Recently, let me grab them. The only style I could find that they have was their lower end style. Doesn't matter if I'm shopping on Amazon, online, brick and mortar like Best Buy, and that's these style right here. And you can tell the difference. If I get my face out, it might actually focus on it a little further over. There we go. With these wedge styles, there's a magnet, which is more of a suggestion than anything. The audio quality isn't as good with these. The lady who speaks in it all of a sudden now has a Chinese accent. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it. But yeah, these are junk, and I don't like them anymore. Sorry, Sony. You had a good customer for a while, then you went cheap on me. Which leads me to my latest try, which would be the DeWalt DXMA190291 Bluetooth wireless headphones. That was a mouthful of a model number. I usually compliment DeWalt on their model numbers. I don't know what rail they went off of on that one, but so I saw these online. There's a couple of features that we'll get into that I kind of like better than the style I've been using for a while. And spec wise, they seem like they're all right. We're going to find out if they are or not, and we'll dig into them. Now, before we get into the actual specs of the thing, I'll just kind of go over what kind of drew me to these. One thing, this here neckband, instead of just a wire, is nice for my situation, because if these things become demagnetized and it's a nice cool day and my neck isn't all sweaty, this wire tends to slide in one direction or another, even if I have it plugged into my ear, like I normally would. And I couldn't tell you how many times I looked down and this wire is just hanging there. So the neck brace on them actually is a bonus for me. I've tried, I think, Panasonic and a couple other ones in years past, and they had this neck style, but they just stunk as far as quality goes, and they weren't weatherproof, which is what we'll get into with the specs on these things. So, you know, sweating all day on them, and they're not sealed. The sweat gets into the things, and they last like 3 months because they get shorted out with my my body fluids. But getting into the actual specs of the thing, I have everything written down over here. 30 plus hours playtime on a full charge, which, I mean, for me is basically a week worth. You know, if you cut out my travel time and times where I don't have the actual headphones on. I mean, I'll charge them every other day like I did with these, but I mean, it should be said. 5 hours of playtime with a 15-minute charge, which is nice because if I forget to charge it for whatever reason and the things die on me, I could just plug them in for 15 minutes, and then I got the rest of the day, and hopefully I remember to charge them when I get home. As far as ingress protection, it is a IPX6. The X means it's not rated for dust intrusion, which means they just didn't test it. And the 6 means powerful jets of water. So if you have these headphones and you and the boys want to get into a garden hose fight, I guess you'd be okay. USB-C charging, Bluetooth 5.0, which is just a higher level of Bluetooth. I mean, not that it would apply to this, but with that level of Bluetooth, you can directional finding, so if you lose whatever that's on that Bluetooth, you can find it. Like I said, it's not applicable to this, but, and it has CVC 8.0 noise reduction, which stands for crystal clear voice, and that's basically just a algorithm that knows what a voice sounds like, and if you're in a noisy situation, you will, it will lower the noise and raise the voice, so that way there you could talk to somebody on the phone. We will try to test that. I kind of have an idea how to test that. I'm not sure if that 100% sure if that's how that's going to work. And yeah, that's about it as far as the specs go on the thing. So what I'm going to do with this particular video will be a little different than my normal videos. Is well, first, we'll just take these out of the box, see what's in the box. I'll pair it up to my phone, and we'll kind of give impressions as far as how the sound goes. I mean, there's no way for me to quantify that over a video. And, yeah, I think what we'll do is I'll run these for a month, and it'll be seconds for you, but by the end of the video, I'll run them for a month, and I'll give you my final thoughts on them. I think that'd probably be the best way to quantify as far as my thoughts on the thing, and that way there we could kind of close this out in one foul swoop. And I mean, normally, like if I'm doing power tools or some new gadget that I'm not 100% sure of, I'll just kind of leave it open-ended until I get a good opinion of them. But I know these, I'll be using these every day, so I mean, what, 40 hours a week, 160 hours, probably, you know, 500 podcasts, a couple of dozen phone calls, and yeah, so I mean, by the end of the month, I'll have a good idea as far as how I think these work. So yeah, let's point the camera down, take them out of the package, and take a close look at them. So this is them in the package. All the marketing schwank in the back there. More marketing schwank. A little label that says theft deterrent device enclosed. So let's pop them out. Alright, so you got the headphones here. Try not to break the cables before I even get started here. And we have a assortment of earbuds, which is nice. That's a whole bunch of different ones. Now, as far as the earplugs go, one thing I do like about these as compared to like the hard style ones, let me grab a set. These are Apple ones when they used to send you accessories with your $1,500 phone. Yeah, these hard style ones that kind of goose into your ears, I don't like those. They make my ear holes ache, and yeah, I got a bunch of these brand new sitting around my house because I'd never use them. Now they give you, aside from the ones that are already on here, which are, they feel like some kind of memory foam, which I'll probably swap those out because I don't know, I don't like that. You get small, medium, large for different ear holes, and they have actual earplug or ear protection style ones, which is different. I will say that you you shouldn't use anything aside from OSHA approved ear protection, but for years these earbuds that I've been using, if I'm doing something loud, I'll stuff these in my ears and my ears don't ring afterwards. So take that for what it is. And I'm sure they have this in mind as far as ear protection goes, but if DeWalt was to call these a ear protection device, they would have to go through all the safety regulations and testing and everything, which probably would add $10 more onto the price of these things, and that's why they don't do it, I'm guessing. Now, taking a look at the actual headphones themselves, I'm seeing you got these little bands here, which I'm guessing is to slide up and down to get the cord out of your way, kind of a comfort type deal. These are cool. They are magnetic to hold them together to kind of keep them out of the way. I do like that. And I'm guessing where we're getting that 30-hour runtime is at one of these pockets, probably this one where the charger is, has a big old beefy battery as compared to the old style Sony ones where you had a much smaller compartment. But I mean, these, I think I could get 15 hours out of these on one charge, I would guesstimate. So yeah, I mean, even those aren't too bad. There you go, just made a big old mess. Yeah, so I mean, buttons, volume up, volume down, usually push and hold will do the old skip or fast forward. We'll figure that out later. Power button, which is a linking button, got a little teeny tiny hole right there, which I'm assuming would be the microphone hole. Are these magnetized to here? That would be kind of cool. No, they're not. And actual band itself, nice and thick. Some kind of rubberized material. We got DeWalt badging, of course, everywhere you look at it. If these were being made and I was asked what I would think about it, I would rather this here yellow and black. I mean, I understand they got to do their branding on the thing, but I would like this to be inverted, where the DeWalt was in yellow and the actual nub in here would be in black, so that way there I'm not feeling like a walking billboard. But you can't have everything, I guess. So yeah, let's power these up. Hopefully there's enough juice in the battery for me to power them up and give them a little, I'm already picking up metal filings, give them a little bit of a check, and see how they feel around the neck and in the old ear holes. All right, we got them all paired up. As far as comfort goes around, I have like an 18-inch neck. Like, I'm one of those people who can never tie a Windsor tie because I run out of tie, and then there's just a little teeny tiny knot there. But just for reference, yeah, I mean, they fit around my neck. They're comfortable. It doesn't feel like they're pinching or anything like that, and where I'm getting choked. So they get an approval for that. I did switch out the little ear hole nubbies on the thing, and yeah, the medium size seem to fit just fine for me. They do kind of cancel out the sound going in the background like any earplug would do. And again, like I said before, these aren't ear protection because they are not tested as ear protection. But I mean, you go to the range and you forget your ear protection and you stuff a couple of 9mm in your ear holes, and that works just as well. And I think we're gonna go with the same concept with this. But yeah, in the ears they're fine. No real rubbing points on either side. When I first put on Spotify and played a little music on them, I thought to myself, wow, these sound like Five Below dollar store crappy earbuds. And then I realized that you kind of need to push them in to get the low end. As far as the music goes, the basses, I would say these are a little bit less quality as far as my old go-to Sony style headphones. I'm personally listening to podcasts most of the time, so the actual music end of it isn't necessarily that bad. But I mean, it's definitely listenable, especially once you push them in all the way, and you get that you get a little bit more bass. But I mean, with any headphones, usually the bass is where you lose things because it's got that little teeny tiny speaker in them. Now, as far as sound quality goes, as far as talking to somebody on the phone, let's test that out now. So we will go into I'm going to record a voice memo on my phone using these as the microphone, and then we'll just kind of edit it into this video and switch it over. So we'll do a start the voice memo there. All right. A little audio sync noise there, and if everything's going right now, you're listening to my voice through these headphones. If I have to crank up the volume so you could hear what I'm saying, I'll put the dB that I had to boost it up to make it more clear for you guys to hear. But yeah, so I think that's about enough for that. Now, test the actual noise canceling feature of these headphones. I got a DeWalt drill, and we're just kind of hold it over here, and we're going to try to talk over it and see if it will cancel out that sound. Go a little bit quieter. That's kind of loud. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see in the editing. I'm not 100% sure if this will even work. So yeah, hopefully you heard all that. If so, the noise canceling is working pretty good. So that's it as far as the specs and checking it out and doing a little bit of limited testing on the things. So far so good as far as I'm concerned. They seem decent enough, especially for the price. I think these were like $40. So I mean that's about mid-tier headphones for me. So I think what we'll do now is I will put these around my neck for a month, use them at work, and get back to you. It will be just the matter of a transition for you. I'm probably going to go with a band transition. I don't know, but yeah. Let me wear them for a month, and then I'll get back to you. I'll let you know what my final thoughts on them are, at least. All right. Well, it's been a month, and I've been using them every day since then. Didn't even go on vacation during that month. New shirt. Got the check engine light in the back now. And yeah, I got to say they're decent enough. Of course, DeWalt doesn't make these. They're a tool company. But yeah, they probably sourced them from a headphone company, God knows who. And yeah, I think they did a pretty good job as far as making a commercial wearable set of earbuds. I will say, as far as cons go with it, I would put the music, listening to music, I'd go mid. Now, if you're a Zoomer, that's the worst thing you could be, is mid. It's an insult, but I mean, mid for me would be, headphones that were studio quality headphones where you're making music and you want everything to sound great, and then you got the dollar store, which would be like a 1. So I mean, 1 out of 10, I'd give these about a 6 as far as music quality goes. Not great, but definitely usable. Like I said earlier, podcasts is what I mostly listen to, and they're perfectly fine for that type of situation. Things that I realized that I didn't like or didn't know that I would like when I first bought these, holding around the neck. One thing I constantly had a problem with these, and with forklifts, you're always laying on the ground or bending over or what have you. It seems like everything on an electric forklift is 2 feet off the ground. And I would always, when I would get up, I would unconsciously put my hand over the headphone wires just so they wouldn't fall off my neck. And I was doing that with these, and I was realizing that I didn't need to do that anymore because this thing actually holds on to the neck pretty good. Another thing was better than the old styles that I've been using is just this noise cancellation when you're talking. I was in situations where I'd have to walk outside to talk to somebody on the phone when I was getting a phone call, and with these I could just have a normal conversation, speaking at a regular volume. I know in the edit, I had to bump these up to, I think it was 10 dB. I had to bump them up 10 dB for the sound to be equal in the video, and so you could hear it. That might be just because a voice memo and then transferred and then going onto the editing software, it might have caused the volume to come down. I can say that people I've talked to seem to be able to hear me just fine talking at a normal volume, so take that for what it is. The noise canceling, again, is excellent on these things as far as talking. And last but not least, the one thing that they're not supposed to be used for, which is ear protection. And I can say I've had a few instances where I was in a noisy environment, or I was making a noisy environment, running a grinder or what have you, or hammering on something. And yeah, I poked these in my ears, and they seem like they keep the sound out, at least as far as that goes. Again, use only approved ear protection, but in a pinch, these seem like they work pretty good. Yeah, and I think that's about it as far as notes go. I will say with the battery life on these things, I had the first day I used them, I of course charged them up fully, and I was 3 days in, and I was better than 50%. I think it was like 57% battery life on these things after 3 days of use. I didn't check the quick charge feature where you get 5 hours of talk or 5 hours of use after 15 minutes of charge, just because I didn't want to run them all the way down and then not have headphones to listen to. I don't see why that would not be the case with these, but yeah, all in all, I mean, I definitely approve, and they seem to work better. Definitely better than the cheapo Sony ones that I've been buying, and yeah, I can't see how you go wrong with them, like I said, unless you're into perfectly sounding music. That's about it as far as that goes. So, any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the old comments section. I'll do my best to get back to you, and I'll leave a link for these in the description if you're interested in them. And I think that's a video. I'd like to thank you for watching. There you go.